imparfait. So even in Spanish, just like in French, we have two main past tenses, passé composé and imparfait. What's the difference between these two? The first is timeline. So in the past, if some activity was going on for some duration, it was going on from some duration, we generally use imparfait. Mostly we use imparfait if it was going on for some time. And something which happens in a moment, in a spur of a moment, right? Like a spike, we generally use passé composé. And that usually happens when you use both these tenses in one sentence. For example, I was studying in UCLA when I met her. I was studying in UCLA for some time when I met her one day at the cafeteria or somewhere, right? Or I was watching TV when the door rang. So you understand this? This is pretty fairly simple to understand this?
Oui.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, second was past habits. This is also very simple to understand. And I think the keyword for this is used to. Like, for example, I used to be tennis champion in college, or I used to be womanizer, or I used to go to Wednesday Pate when I was in college, or I used to what? I used to worship Shah Rukh Khan. So past habits, used to. Okay, so that's definitely imperfect. In Spanish, I remember I used to say solia usar, I used to use or something like that. Anyway, that's not the point. So that's the second context of imperfect. One is this duration, past duration, and second is past habits. And third one is describing past events, mostly in like storytelling or it's like talking about weather. Like us din kaisa weather tha. We say il faisait beau. It was beautiful that day. Or one other usage of description is how to tell time when talking about story. So you say it was il était 6 heures. Okay, so it was 6 o'clock. So basically, you're describing an event in past. So use imparfait for that. So these are the three main contexts that you should know with imparfait. So let's look at the conjugations and then we'll take a lot of examples from all these scenarios that we talked about. You take the new form conjugation in present tense. You take the new form present tense and then you remove, for example, palo. Right? This is a new form in present tense. You drop the ons, right? So whatever stem you get, pal, you add ais, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, and AIENT. So you add this suffix AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT. But remember this thing, okay? We're not talking about infinitive, like we're not talking about parley is the infinitive, remove ER and add this suffix. We're talking about take the new form, okay? Remove the ONS from the new form and then add. Now you will say, what's the difference, right? It's just, eventually it's going to turn out the same thing. It's still going to be, if I try to conjugate this, it's still going to be je parlais, tu parlais, elle parlait, nous parlions, vous parliez, and elle parlait. So you will say, yeah, it's even if you say remove er from infinitive and add the suffix, it's still going to be same. In case of regular er ending verbs, yes. What about regular ir ending verbs, right? For example, if you say choisir is to choose. So you take the new form. New form of choisir in present tense is
Choisissons.
yeah, choisissons, which is different than infinitive, basically, quite different. You drop the ons and you add the suffix, so it will become je choisissais, right? Choisis, choisissez, choisissez, choisissiez, choisissez. So you see the difference, right? So always take the new form present tense conjugation, remove the ONS and add the suffix. Don't do it on the infinitive. Even though for regular ER ending verbs, it seems like the same thing, it will come back to haunt you in IR ending verbs, probably some of the RE ending verbs also. Cool. So that's how you conjugate. The suffixes are AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IZ, AIENT. Good news is that the suffix don't change. They are the same. Whether it's we are talking about regular ER, regular IR, regular RE, or irregular, the suffix will remain the same. That's the good part. Bad part, there's always a bad part with French, is like here, for example, in case of, let's say, simple manger, right? So what's the new form of manger in present tense? Mangion. Yeah. Mangion. So now we have to drop ONS, okay, and then add suffix to this. So it becomes je manger, right? It still is manger, but je manger, okay. Now problem is when it comes to new form of this, you don't add the e. So new form of imparfait will still be nous mangions.
पहले लगा दिया और फिर उसमें imperfect हटा दिया.
पहले लगाया, फिर उससे हमने ये बनाया, फिर जिससे हटाया था, सॉरी जान दो, तुमको समझ गया मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. It's difficult to explain, but ऐसे ही है. Welcome to French. Anyway, so this is something that you have to remember. This happens with your CER ending verbs also. When we do the song for your new form, right? We do song for new form. So उससे ONS हटाते हैं, इसलिए you will see that in the j, tu, ilel, we still have that sedil, right? When it comes to the new form, we'll remove the sedil, we'll add simply IONS. And this has a logical explanation. The logical explanation is sound, right? This is already C. We don't need this. That's why we remove that. So let's look at these examples. I love these examples. Okay.
Il voyage chaque année en Australie.
G
AIT.
AI. There will be an extra E, right? Because we talked about GR ending verbs.
Voyage.
Yeah. वो उसका sound change नहीं होता है. voyage नहीं होता है वो. voyage ही होता है in this case, okay? If you had not used this E, it would have been voyage, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay. This is good. What does it mean, Mamta, this sentence?
They used to travel every year to Australia.
Awesome. Okay. We say faisait, okay? We don't say faisait, we say faisait, okay? Nice, okay. Tu faisais du sport à l'école? Lycée is high school, yeah. What is l'école then?
L'école is school, collège is middle school, and lycée. Nous étions enchantés de notre expédition.
Okay, what does it mean?
We were delighted with our trip.
Yeah. And why do you think we used imparfait here?
This was a feeling, a state of mind.
It was a state of mind, that's one explanation, and one other is that it was a state of mind for some time in past, right? We were delighted, like how long that expedition was, I don't know. So we were delighted with our expedition. Il buvait du café noir le matin. What does it mean?
They used to drink coffee.
J'étais champion de tennis.
I used to be. That could mean two things. I used to be champion of tennis, or I was champion of tennis for few months or years or whatever it is.
Nous aimions faire la cuisine.
Meaning?
We used to love to cook.
Yeah. We used to love to cook, yeah.
So here we knew that we have to use the imparfait. So we use that tense.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, if the sentence is given and say, okay, complete the following, is it a clear cut imparfait?
There are certain indications here. For example, and I think I was going to talk about it in like next few minutes, but now that you ask, in some of the sentences there is indication. For example, Here you will say le matin. Okay, no, but le matin can also means in the morning. It doesn't have to mean all the mornings. You can use passé composé, but it will mean different here. For example, this will be vous êtes allé au bord de la mer en été. Like you went to the seaside in summer. It just changes the sentence, the meaning, right? That's the reason why I said don't go for those rules that if it's the time is given, then use this or that. It goes
Yeah,
with,
that's not a very clear cut differentiator.
but the meaning is quite different, right? I mean, meaning is quite different. Like when I say vous alliez au bord de la mer en été, used to, and then when I use passé composé, it's like one-time activity. I went.
Okay.
The difference in meaning is simple, right?
Do we have to just decide what to use on what we want to say?
Huh.
Just differentiate like that?
Yes.
Would that be the correct way of going about it?
Yes, you're right. That's why we discussed the three scenarios. We discussed the scenarios. We didn't discuss the exact syntax, but we discussed the scenarios, right? That's how we are going to go about. I don't know. Maybe it's because of experience or because it's the same thing in Spanish. I'm quite comfortable in this. The difference between imparfait and, but I can understand if you guys are not comfortable with it right now.
Because if in like the fourth sentence, if I would have used passé composé, then I would have just said that they drank black coffee in the morning.
Yeah, it
But
will,
if I
it will mean
parfait, it just becomes that they drink black coffee in the morning as a habit.
yes, yeah, exactly. You would just change the conjugation. It would just mean that they drank black coffee in the morning. Yeah,
Still a correct sentence to use, right?
it is. Yes.
Oh.
The different uses of imparfait, which we already used, but I'm just going to revise it. Okay. It is used for background and description. Okay. Les rues étaient embouteillées. The streets were jammed. It's kind of like you're telling a memoir or something, anecdote. Yeah. So yeah, the streets were so jammed, étaient embouteillées. La circulation était fluide. The traffic was flowing. Okay. This one I took the example, right? Il faisait trop chaud. It was too hot that day. Il avait faim. He was hungry. Now it's almost unheard of to use passé composé here. I mean, technically again you can use, but generally you are hungry for some duration, right? Even if it's a small duration. So it's very difficult to say that you were hungry at one particular instance. But again, it depends on context, but generally you will find that you will form it like that. If you're talking about being hungry in past, you'll say il avait faim. Il ne savait pas quoi faire. She didn't know what to do. So, as they express the mental or physical state, some verbs tend to be used more often in imparfait than in passé composé. And this you will observe with practice when you do more and more French, that verbs like être, avoir, penser, croire, savoir, espérer, sembler, this kind of verbs are used more in imparfait than passé composé. But that doesn't mean that they are not used in passé composé. So we have two examples here. Il semblait déprimé. He looked, he looked sad or he looked depressed. Why imparfait here? So this is more like a description. He looked depressed. So that's kind of like describing some action in past or some event in past. Now, tout à coup, il a semblé comprendre la situation. Now here, we are using passé composé because we are specifying this, that suddenly, in that moment, he understood or he seemed to understand the situation. So the difference here was us mentioning the tout à coup, which is suddenly, all of a sudden. So the emphasis is on the sudden moment. That's why you are using passé composé. Did you understand the difference when we use tout à coup?
Yes.
Okay. Je savais qu'il avait raison. I knew that he was right. So I knew for a long time, or I knew for some time, or for some duration of time, I knew that he was right. When there's a friction between girlfriend and boyfriend, they say, I knew he was right, but ego problem. So I knew for some time. And then So that's why imparfait for some time. But then you're using savoir in passé composé, but you're specifying or you're emphasizing on moment. Immédiatement, j'ai su qu'il était innocent. Immediately, at that moment, I knew that he was innocent. Are you getting the difference when we are using imparfait, the same verb, and then passé composé?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes verbs will go in both tenses, but then there will be sometimes indicators. Sometimes you will have to just remain with the context without any indicator, any word which is different in the sentence. So both cases exist.